single now and then. Of course, Beatles are in the spotlight for Feature Artist Friday, excuse me, all day long from Bank of Ann Arbor, sponsored by Bank of Ann Arbor. And we thought, Beatles, they're a feel good band for a feel good kind of day. We are trying to raise 1 million meals for food gatherers, and the phone lines are now open. So if you're trying to call, they open at 9 o'clock. So 734 761 2796. That's 734 761 2796. You can get details and donate at foodgatherers.org/rockin'. It is 10 minutes after 9 o'clock, 42 degrees, and my name is Scott Vertical. I have a couple of very special guests here. Michele McGovern is the executive director of Aid in Milan, and Jennifer Lusenkamp. Jennifer Lusenkamp, which is what I was going to say, is the pantry services manager at Aid in Milan. Thank you both for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us, and thanks for bringing this beautiful weather this morning, Scott. Appreciate that.
We customer service. We call it customer service.
Thank you.
Yes. I talked to Mother Nature. I'm like, you know what? It's been cold the last few days. How about some rain?
Yeah.
How about some chilly rain? Wouldn't that be better? So for those who aren't familiar, what is Aid in Milan, and how are you connected with food gatherers?
Aid in Milan has been around for 48 years, actually, coming up on 50 years.
No kidding.
Providing food for the little town of Milan. Today, what we do is we still are mainly a pantry, but we provide food for anybody that shows up, no questions asked. So that's something we started around COVID time, and we've been able to continue. And it's very important for a number of reasons. But we do that primarily. We also have some humanitarian services, gifting and Thanksgiving boxes, and just aid for people that need it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, Michele, you've been the executive director for more than a year now. Jennifer, you have been the pantry manager for over 5 years. So what kind of things have you learned about the needs that our community has, or specifically in Milan?
So we're learning that, we've got 2-parent households who are both working full time.
Yeah.
And, a year ago they were making it, things were okay. And then just with the cost of, everything going up, they are finding themselves, having to make decisions and choices. And,
Yeah.
So, they're just not cutting it. And so they're coming to us and filling those holes, those gaps. We encourage that, that way they can allocate money to other places and get resources through us.
Sure. Yeah. And, you're talking about the families that all of a sudden are starting to need this help that they didn't need before. And that I think about this a lot, about how we are just a few paychecks away from kind of having a real problem, right?
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of folks don't know. It's like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to have for lunch today. But that happens for people every meal. They don't know what meal they're going to have for each single meal. And so one of the things that you do is you have a van. Right? That somehow explain this. but you have this new van that with a grant from food gatherers, right? How do you use the van to help you in Aid in Milan?
Well, let me say really quick that the van
yeah.
is a very important
Yes.
part of just kind of the whole food gatherers umbrella, because they have supported us in many ways.
Okay.
It's not just food.
Right. Okay.
If I call or email food gatherers, they are on it and they are helping. They really don't just redirect me. They say, okay, here, how can we do it? They're a pretty marvelous entity. And then one of the things that they did was work on their own dollar and their own time to secure this van.
No kidding.
With this huge grant. And we do share it with Manchester Community Resource Center.
Okay.
And we use it to provide deliveries, which Jennifer can talk about. But they also just secured a second amount of funding so that we can continue operating the van at no additional charge or whatever to us.
Sure.
So it's very generous. We're very thankful.
Yeah, no kidding. And then Jennifer, how do you use that van?
So Manchester, they come twice a month and pick it up for us. And then when it's not in use by them, we deliver food to weekend food program.
Okay.
Is what it's referred to. It's for kids who have been deemed homeless by the school system. So then we take weekend food to them for their families. Each child in the family gets a personalized little bag of food that's, easy pop top, microwave foods, things like that, that they can make, over the weekend if they're home by themselves or just whatever the case may be. And then we use it for deliveries, which
Okay.
is for homebound seniors,
Sure.
for individuals who don't have transportation
Mhm.
and that qualify for the service. We do deliveries once a week for them. And then we have once a month that we have another senior complex that we do deliveries for.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's wonderful. My many years ago, my dad used a Meals on Wheels service, and one of the things that he really appreciated was the interaction with the people that come out. And so I know that is something, not just to drop off the food, it's that personal interaction with the people that need the help as well. Isn't that so you encounter folks on a daily basis that need this help,
yep.
right?
We really get to know our clients for the most part, things
Yeah.
like that, hear their stories and connect with them. And yep, yeah, know when they're really hurting and things like that. So,
Yeah, it's a more of a personal connection than
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So if somebody needs aid in Milan, what can they do to get that aid?
So we've got two different ways of getting food from us.
Mhm.
They can go online to our website, aidinmilan.org. They can do a pre-order. They'll go in and put their name and address, and then they can select items that they would prefer, put in date and time they'd like to pick up during
Okay.
our open hours. Otherwise, they can come pull into our driveway, give us a call from the parking lot.
Yeah.
Again, we just ask them demographic questions. They can place an order. Takes us about 5-10 minutes
Okay.
to fill an
Mhm.
order, and
Yeah.
then it goes out the back door to their vehicles. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our phone number is 734-439-8420.
Okay.
And one thing I just kind of wanted to add
Sure.
is when we're thinking about giving food, we tend to not remember that food really is instrumental in mental health, physical health.
Yes.
I think about our senior citizens that are living alone. Just within our circle of influence, there's a ton more, of course, in this whole Washtenaw County area. Sharing food around a table with
Yeah.
their friends and family. I mean, that is community. So when you're providing food for people, it's more far reaching than just nutrition.
Right.
And we can talk about that for an hour.
No, you're right though. I
Mhm.
mean, it's there's it can cause great anxiety and great stress, and that washes out into all the other parts of your life.
Absolutely.
It just, if you don't know where your meal is coming from, then you can't work that well that day because you're thinking about
Yes.
other things. So thank you so much for all the work that you do with Aid in Milan. Michele McGovern, Executive Director, Jennifer Lusenkamp, Pantry Services Manager. Thanks again for coming out today and sharing these stories with us. And thank you for all the work that you've been
Thank
doing.
you.
And please donate to Food Gatherers, foodgatherers.org/rockin'. You can also call them at 734-761-2796. It's the police on Ann Arbor's 1071.